Well, good morning, folks. This is John from Way Out Retirement coming to you today from the beautiful town of San Andres on the even more beautiful island of Catanduanes, located as part of the even more beautiful Republic of the Philippines. My wife and I retired here back in August 2016, and I'm here to tell you life just keeps getting better and better. The buzzing sound you hear is two sources. First off, it's raining cats and dogs outside. But guess what, folks? That's why they call it the rainy season. Okay, and the other buzzing is the fan behind me because it's muggy as hell and you need a fan to keep the air moving, and otherwise old people like me tend to melt. Alright, I haven't made a video for quite a while here. You know, I've had this little thing called life that I've had to deal with, and basically since the last video I made, which was somewhere back in early November if I remember right, it might have been even longer than that, I don't know, check my log and see. We had two issues. We had Typhoon Nina, known to the international community as Typhoon Knock 10, and why they give them two names beats the hell out of me. And they're still working on my house, which they've been doing since September of 2016. And anyway, I'll talk about the house second and Typhoon Nina first. The picture you're looking at here is from here on Catanduanes. I think this was taken over in Verac. It knocked down over 1,000 poles when it hit on December 24th, 2016. Power went out about noon on that day, and my power didn't come back on until Friday, January the 20th, 2017. And folks, I'm here to tell you I'm one of the lucky ones. There's people right here in San Andres that still don't have power yet, and they're figuring at least another week. We were lucky that on our street no poles came down. Okay, most places can't make that claim. Every place there was wooden telephone poles, most of them were snapped like toothpicks. Aluminum ones, which are meant to withstand the wind, they're octagonal actually, and they're made to deflect wind, were actually bent. You know, lines where poles didn't come down or get bent, lines came off. You know, I was walking around this morning and there's still power lines down everywhere. So I am real lucky, and I thank God that they turned the power on here because we were going crazy. I had to go out and buy an $800 generator, and we ran it 4 to 5 hours a night, and it was costing us about 1,000 pesos, which is, that's about 25 bucks a day, which doesn't sound like a lot when you figure that I'm on a fixed income now. Since nobody watches any of my YouTube videos or reads anything I write, so I'm broke, and so that's a lot of money. Anyway, so here you can see this is power poles down. Like I said, the wooden ones came down pretty easily. Okay, the infamous Nipa hut, which is a prevalent construction material in rural Philippines. And you can say, well, the poor people, they can't do any better. They're smarter than you think. First off, these typhoons hit this place pretty regular. And wooden frames, even some concrete reinforced frames and that sustained damage. You knock this thing down, I guarantee you there were people that had their Nipa huts back up in less than 72 hours after the storm. Materials grow right next to them. They just go out and cut it and go back to work. Salvage what they can from the wreck and move on. It's really a pretty logical way to do things. This was a problem and still is on parts of the island. Well, here we're talking about water. Okay. Water's an issue on this island on good times. Okay. People that have any sense drink bottled or filtered water. Well, no power means those reverse osmosis filters don't work too good. So you had to queue up to get drinking water. We were lucky. We could afford and lived on bottled water for the month that power was out. And I was prepared on an emergency basis to treat water. I can treat it 3 ways. I can boil it, then I can filter it. Let me do it in the right order. Filter it, boil it, chemically treat it. And that gets rid of just about everything that's in the water. Except that after the chemical treatment, it don't taste so good. But I was prepared to do it, and we would have water. Diseases like cholera still exist here, folks, and you have to be careful. Okay, damage to agriculture was pretty intense. But however, you could say, oh my gosh, no more coconuts. Well, that's not true. Coconut trees were designed, if you will, to survive typhoons. Those long fronds break off relatively easily, and they and the plant replaces them relatively quickly. The coconuts, unless they're ripe and ready to be brought down, they stay in the tree. And I can, around here, lots of incidents with a tree with no fronds left and the coconuts are still up in the tree. And these coconuts are heavy, folks. If they were coming down, you wouldn't want to be anywhere near it, because it's like mortar shells landing on your skull. Bananas were pretty much wiped out. They have several species of bananas here, most of them cultivars, and that's pretty much gone for this season. But bananas, the stems break off and they grow back. You just get one bad season. We came out much luckier than some other islands. The island of Mindoro, which my friends Jorge and Greg know, because we played around there in the 70s, was just about ready to harvest rice when the typhoon went across them, and it pretty much wiped out 80% of the rice crop. That's serious in a country where they've replaced potatoes with rice. So there has been plenty of damage. By all accounts, our abaca, or the Manila hemp, which this place is famous for, survived the storm fairly well. Okay, so that's Typhoon Nina. They're still going around. Every once in a while in the background of the video you hear somebody hammering. There's repairs going on. These people around here are incredibly resilient. They're used to as many as 20 of these things hitting a year, and they take it as no big deal. They just move on. It's amazing, Where in America we would have been crying for government assistance and all that, these people help each other, and they just get on with life. Okay? Really great. Okay, now to the house. We started rebuilding this house in September 2016. Okay, here we are. It's the last, we've got 2 weeks left in January, and we're not done yet. We're getting there. There was a learning curve on both sides of the issue. I had to learn that, you have to kind of think when you're assigning projects to people. I put too much on one young man's shoulders, and I shouldn't have done that. And I've apologized to him for it. This was a very complex job. In many ways, building a brand new house would have been easier. But Milda owned this. She built this place in 1969 for her parents. That is an incredibly old house here. It's an old house in the States. It's an incredibly old house here. Okay, so we had to pretty much rebuild it from the ground up. New wiring, new windows, new floors. We added rooms. We rearranged some rooms, doors, the kitchen, which I'll show you in a minute. We did all this stuff. Okay, the lower right picture you're looking at there is the kitchen as it was when we walked into the house in August. Right there in about the middle of the picture is the only cooking appliance that was in the house at the time. It's a single burner LP gas thing. Okay. There's a sink on the left, but no water. Okay, there was no running water in the house when we got here. There's a pump, a regular old hand crank well pump outside the house, and that's where we got water for everything, including flushing toilets and taking baths. The kitchen you're looking at in the upper left corner is what we have now. Completely rebuilt from the ground up. Old cabinets were completely torn out. The concrete supports for the counter were busted out. We made everything new. Notice we now have a refrigerator. We have a proper stove. It's still LP gas because that's mostly what they cook with here. But this one does have one electric burner, which is nice. It's also electric start because I have trouble keeping hair on my knuckles lighting these gas stoves. I always have. I don't know why. Yes, we have running water inside now. It doesn't have any water pressure, but we have running water. I'll explain where the pressure is going to come from in a few minutes. Things we have left to do to the house. And I'm not going to do a video on the complete house until we're done with it. And then we're going to do a video virtual tour thing. Okay, I'll put on my Polaroid Cube headset and chest camera, and we're going to walk around and video the entire marvel that we've built here. Things that are going in this week. We've got a best tank, which is a water reserve tank that goes up on the roof so that I can use gravity to increase water pressure. We've got a pump that runs from the wellhead outside to that tank to keep it filled with water. Without that, there'd be no way of getting water up to the second floor, except for carrying it in buckets, which is kind of what I do now. There is a real bathroom, folks. I mean, out of all the marvels we put in this house, that's the one that just tickles me to death. It has a real sit-down toilet that flushes. And as soon as I get water pressure, that means I don't have to carry buckets of water up the stairs every time I take a dump. I mean, that's really starting to wear on me. If I was 20 years old, I'd probably just whine about it. At 62, it's starting to wear on me. Okay, we've got a real shower with, get this, a hot water tank. Yeah, these personal hot water tanks or tankless water heaters are a big deal over here, and that's what we've got. This one will run the shower, the bathroom sink, and it'll still supply hot water for the kitchen downstairs. So we are up and coming, folks. And like I said, I will do a video on that, on the entire house when we're done with it. This house has been a learning experience, and I'll talk a lot about that in the next video. Suffice it to say that, you know, planning was neither my forte nor the contractor's forte. He had never done a job this complex, although he's a very talented young man. He'd never done a job this complex. I walked into this as an American, a white boy, who just didn't think things through, and I fell afoul of a Philippine custom of never being able to say no or I can't do something. So between the two of us, we managed to screw a few things up. Nothing that we didn't recover from him or I, and we're working on it. You know, he learned from me, I learned from him, and life will go on. Anyway, that's all for today, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.